Hi prospects, welcome back to my ASMR channel. Just kidding.
As you guys can see, Kaylee's back.
Guess who's back? Back again.
How are you, Kaylee?
I'm great. How are you?
Alive and well. How's your life been since we last saw you?
Good. The same. A little bit more chaotic, but I would say a little better.
Okay.
What about you?
Oh, well, thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
My life has been fantastic. The last couple of weeks have actually been very, very, very good for me. But before we go on a rant, what have you been up to, Kaylee?
School, gym, work, repeat, all over again. But it's fine.
How's school going for you?
It's going good. I'm taking 6 classes this semester, but all of my professors, thankfully, are really, really, really easy, and nobody leaves me homework except my lab class. But that's only if I don't finish it in class, which is fine. So I feel like I'm not as stressed as I was last semester, but it's the most stressful semester because if I fail like one class, that's it. I can't transfer because I won't have enough credits. So yeah, it's stressful, but not stressful at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's stressful, but not as stressful as it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how's the gym going for you?
Good. I really like it. So I feel like the gym is now, it's like fine. It's like I don't really have to worry about much. But every time like something breaks and I fix it, I'm like, cool. It's okay. And then I turn around and then something else breaks. Then I'm just like, I can't catch a break. Like the AC breaks and then it starts to rain and then we got leaks. And then the hand dryer stops working and then the machine breaks.
Sorry, just to clarify, so for those who don't know, she's talking about the gym she works at. She's not just out here at the gym, just like breaking things left and right. Oh, that's good. How's work treating you besides everything breaking down for you?
Good. It is. Oh my God. It's going good for me. Yeah, I really like it. And then I don't see him anymore, which is fine.
But you guys can see me on here, and you would see me if you're subscribed to my channel, which I haven't figured out how to find who is subscribed to my channel. So for all I know, like you could or not be subscribed to my channel, but irrelevant.
I am subscribed. It took me a while to subscribe, but I did. I finally did it.
It took a while of convincing, or
No, I just always kept forgetting, and then I was like, I'm on the first episode. I probably should subscribe.
Very supportive, ladies and gentlemen. But the last, answering her question of how I am, the last couple of weeks have been very, 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 very good to me, honestly. Like I was on set, as you know, because you follow me on social media, which you guys should also if you aren't already. I've been able to get on set a lot more, which is a very, very like cool experience. I was telling her I was just on George Lopez's new show last week. I told you about that, right?
No, you didn't. I don't know who he's talking about.
Okay, well, I only talk to people who are subscribed to my channel from the start. But excuse me. But no, yeah, I was on George Lopez's new show, and it was shooting at Universal, and it was just pretty cool because you know the studio tour at Universal where you go down and you have the tram going around.
Yeah,
it was really cool because I've been down there on the tram, you know, as a little tourist, taking photos and whatnot. But I was there, like, getting to work on set, and I would see those trams like come down, and they would do what I would do when I was there, you know. But this time I was on the other side, and they were looking where I was, yeah. And I was like, "That's right, y'all came to see me." No, but
not George Lopez.
Yeah, not George Lopez. No, but it was like, even though like on a serious note, even though like I wasn't like the star of the show, it's just like really cool, you know. Like it's almost like surreal just to be like, oh crap, like I never imagined myself being like off the tram, you know, like just on the tram, which is really cool. We did get to shoot in front of a live audience, which is honestly like, it's kind of funny. Like, cause we shot the scene like the day before. I can't disclose too much about what goes on, but we shot the scene the day before, and that's like with no audience, and then you have to do it again like in front of the audience. And I always thought like the laugh tracks were like fake, which I'm pretty sure like a lot of them are, but like people actually do laugh, even if like what you say is not like.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't there like a little cue on the top that's like laugh, and then everybody has to laugh?
I don't know if they did. I mean, they did a good job because like they genuinely like laugh, even though like if you mess up, like you do the take again and they laugh again. So maybe.
Yeah, I've seen it. Well, I don't know if it's true, but I've seen like the videos where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, laugh now, and
Yeah.
it like blinks,
No,
and then you're
I-
supposed to laugh.
I know what
I
you're
don't-
talking about, but I completely forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, so I don't. Maybe it wasn't that funny.
Well, they weren't supposed to laugh at what I was saying. They were supposed to laugh at what George Lopez was saying. I was pretty much standing like from here to where the camera is, away from George Lopez. His head is like
Humongous.
it's like massive. Like his head is absolutely massive. It's funny because like I think that's always been like a joke, like an ongoing joke of like how his head is big or whatever. But it's massive.
Wasn't he in Shrek Boy and Lava Girl? Or am I thinking about somebody else? He had that big ass head.
Yeah. Well, his whole thing was a ball, and then you just see his face. But I think his whole head didn't even fit in the fucking like the screen. No disrespect to George Lopez, it's just an observation that I made while I was there. But it was pretty cool because even when I was on set the week before, I got to talk to. I was on set for a show called Mayans. Have you ever heard of the show?
Mm-mm.
I've heard of it because somebody mentioned it to me. Somebody would watch it, but it was pretty cool because one of the actors, like I was just doing background. One of the actors was there, and he was dressed in like a leather jacket and like boots and all that stuff because it's about like a biker gang. And I was looking at him, and I was like, I don't think this guy's in costume. I was like, I think this guy just genuinely like, dresses like this on a regular basis. So when I had a chance, like I went up to him and I mentioned that to him, and he was just he was really cool. Like most of the people that I met are like really cool there, and it's very good to see because we're all like actors, you know what I mean, and we're essentially like in competition with each other.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but I've never met anyone that's like trying to put you down and get ahead of you. It's kind of like they're all like, let me help you get there. You know what I mean? Which is very, very heartwarming. I don't know. I just think, as I mentioned on the episode, for those who watched the episode with Nelly, like I think people who help others just achieve more success. I think that does come back to you like in any regard.
Because I feel like, well, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I feel like for actors, everybody knows how it feels like to start off, like to not get booked or anything like that. So I feel like it's just like, sure, like let me show you what I did, and everybody helps each other, which I feel like it's really nice. I feel like everybody understands the struggle, even though it is a very like competitive field. They all understand the struggle.
Yeah, like it's crazy competitive, but like I said, like it doesn't feel like we're competing. It just feels like we're all part of the same team. Like kind of like, oh, like you're new, cool, like join the group, you know, like, and we'll get there. Like everyone shares their like everyone shares their mistakes, everyone shares their experience, everyone shares like their tips with you, you know, and it's just very, very helpful, which again I think is just good to be helpful in any regard. Like I try to use whatever I have to help others. Like even this platform here, like yes, it's for me to like reach others, but it's not just for me to come on here and like rant about like my life, you know. It's to try to reach people, help others, even if I can't physically help them, just help them like with my words, you know. Like I have a couple video ideas of things that I want to start uploading on my YouTube channel, because I do want to create actual YouTube content on my social media, like my Instagram, my TikTok, and everything that I do, or most of what I do, I want it to revolve around helping others. You know, like you see people on TikTok, like, you know, like Keith Lee, like that Jimmy Darts guy, and stuff like that. Like they help others, so like why not? You know, like even though I'm nowhere near there, but why not get there one day? You know,
Or at least try. Like even I say it doesn't matter. Like at the gym, like for example, there's this guy that that was funny. There's this guy that he lost his job, and then he started to do like construction and stuff. But since when it rains, like if you work in construction, like if it rains, like that's it. Like even if you were supposed to work that day, you don't work. So he comes into the gym, and I'm giving away your recycling. I'm sorry, but he comes into the gym and he.
well, that's one way to find out.
He goes into our main trash can, like at the front, like when you barely come in, and he just collects like bottles and stuff. And so then one day I was like, hey, like I have bottles in the back, like let me give you some. And then you can just tell when like people are very like grateful, and it's like helping people. It's just like about the little things. It's like the little things can make a huge difference. Like he tells me, and I tell him like, oh, I'm here like anytime after 2. If you want, you can just like stop by and I can give you a couple bottles, like even if it's just a little bit. And he's genuinely like so grateful, and he's like, you don't know how much like you've helped me out. Like even if it's just like I only give him a couple bottles, like I don't give him a full bag, but he's just like really grateful, and that's what I feel like. Even it's just like the little things you can help somebody, and you really won't know how much it would impact them.
Yeah, I think that's why it's important to just like be nice, but also like she said, like just help, even if you think it doesn't make a difference. Like for some people, like it means the world. You know, maybe that bottle is not gonna change his life, but just like knowing that, like, hey, like this girl's like willing to help me out. You know, like people are willing to help me out. Like I feel like that probably has a very very good effect on him. And those bottles add up. The recycling that she's talking about, like, is a bunch of recycling that I when I would take out the trash from the gym, we would just like collect it and we put it in the back. And it's really just extra money that we have, but it's not something that we need. You know what I mean? We can easily be like, you know, that's our money. Like we want money, but people need it more. So I have no problem with her giving it out, and obviously she had no problem giving it out. I just think too many people are too focused on like themselves, you know, like everyone, obviously we're all working towards something, we're all working to get to a level where we want to get, but who knows, like even if one day you're on top, like the next day you might be the one that needs that hand, you know what I mean? And people will lend that hand, you know, so why not be the one to lend a hand when you're in that position, you know?
Yeah, I do know, because I hate when people are mean for no reason, because I feel like you gain nothing out of being mean, because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, like I don't know this person, I don't owe them anything, like I don't owe them a thank you, I don't owe them like an excuse me. And I hate when people do that, because if it was like the other way around, like if one day you need help, like I know you would want somebody to help you, to like genuinely help you out and stuff. And like you said, I feel like people are like really full of themselves nowadays. Like if you're seeing somebody like needs help, like opening a door, like you see that they have so many like stuff in their hands, just open the door. Like you lose nothing, and like you gain nothing of doing anything. Like it is, you're not like stepping out of your way. If somebody's like, hey, can you like lend me $1 million, and you're just like, I don't want to do that. But if you see if you're like walking in like a hallway and somebody drops their books, just help them pick up your books. Like you lose nothing and you gain nothing at the end of the day. But it's just be a good person. Just help people when they need help.
Exactly. Like even if you don't know like how, you know, like start off small. Like I talk about here, like how, you know, like Keith Lee and like Jimmy Dars, just to give some examples, like they help people. You know, these are people with like who knows how much money that they get to be able to help people, and I don't have that, so I'm not gonna be like, oh well, let me wait till I get there. You know, let me wait till I have that amount of following or whatever. It's like, well, let me do what I can right now. You know, like if I reach people with words, with what I say, then I know I'm doing what I'm trying to do. There have been people that tell me like, I really like when you said this, or like I really felt when you said this, and that just, you know, proves to me, like even if it's just that one person, like my words do have some type of value. Like I really am helping someone, and it's just a very rewarding feeling. Like she said, you can tell when someone's grateful, and just seeing somebody being grateful, you can see it in their face, and it's just so rewarding. Like hell yeah, like I did that, you know, like I helped them. And even just being kind is helping others. Like it's mind-blowing. Like there's so many times like at the gym where we always check people in at the front desk, and sometimes we're like, hey, how's it going, or whatever, and they literally just look at you, check in, and don't say a word. And it's just mind-blowing. Like I don't care. Like I don't get upset. Like you could talk to me and not talk to me, whatever. It's just mind-blowing. Like how do you have somebody talking to you and you just completely
ignore them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like it just makes
no sense.
It just makes absolutely zero sense. But
and that happens often. Like it happens so much. Like because 9 times out of 10 they respond to you, and you get those couple people that are just like, I don't care. When I first started working there, I remember I would get so upset when I'd be like, bye, have a good day, and then nobody would answer me. I'd be like, never mind, I take it back.
There's been so many stories where like just, you know, giving somebody a smile or being that light in somebody's day, like it just changes their whole day. And you never know what somebody's like going through. Like I don't want to get too deep into like mental health right now, but it's, you know, like there's been stories where like people have saved lives because they're like, I just need a reason, you know, I just need some type of sign that I belong here, that I should stay here. And it's like somebody gives you a good morning or something, and that's just like life changing for some people, you know, like it really is. But like she said, there's so many people that think like highly of themselves, like especially like people that are in a position of like power or a position of money. Not everybody, you know, but stuff like that like does really get to people, you know, like people look down on people who don't have like the best clothes, like the best cars, like the best materialistic things, when in reality, like none of that
Matters.
none of that matters. Like yes, it's nice to not have to struggle financially, but none of that makes you like a better or worse person than somebody else. You know what I mean? Like I've never been one personally to like spend on like clothes or like shoes or anything like that. Like, you know, if you do, like that's fine, but I've never been one to necessarily care about that. And I actually get that from my mom. Did your mom ever like flip through like the catalogs when they were sending them to your mail about like market, like the grocery stores and stuff like that?
Oh, like the from grocery stores, yeah,
Yeah.
but like from like actual like clothing stores, no.
Yeah, no, that's what I meant. Like, my mom has always been the type to like save money, like, you know,
My
not
mom
to call
too.
her cheap, but just like because they're smart. Like, and my mom's not the type to like, oh, quiero esto, like quiero el otro. You know, she's more like, if I need some shoes, I'm gonna go find some cheap shoes for work. Like, if I need some clothes, I'm gonna go to the thrift store. You know, and I just grew up that way. So nowadays, it's like most of my stuff that I get is like from the thrift store. I think I got this shirt at like the Swami or whatever, and it's like a solid shirt. You know what I mean? And somebody can walk around with like $100 shirt, and it's like, but that person doesn't. That person's not better or worse than you.
And I feel like that also like that sense of like entitlement, because I don't know how many times I've been told it's like, oh, this is why you work at a gym, and I'm like, okay, like, you know, that sense of entitlement, like it doesn't matter like how much you have like on you, because I grew up like that too. Like my mom, it's like, oh, it's like 30 cents cheaper at Food for Less than Vallarta. Like you better believe that she's gonna go to Food for Less and get those tomatoes or anything like that. And I grew up like that too, going thrifting and stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie, I do spend a lot of money, but like on shoes, but I don't feel like it makes me any like better if I have like good shoes on than somebody. I'm not gonna be like, oh, your shoes, like what are those? You know, like I'm not gonna do that, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I just like something, so I got it, but it doesn't necessarily make me feel like I'm better than anybody else, or like if I feel like, oh, I have more money than you because I can afford all these stuff. Like no, like thankfully I'm in a position where I can buy myself those nice shoes, you know, but it doesn't mean that I'm better than anybody else. And I feel like a lot of people that they have money are just feel so like entitled to have, I don't know, like things like handed, not like handed to them, but for example, like when people argue with me at the gym, they're just like, do it. And I'm like, no, you can do it yourself. Like you can do it yourself. I'm not going to do it for you. If except it's something that they genuinely can't do it themselves and they're being like mean to me, then I'm like, sure, I'm going to do it for you, but not because like I want to. But a lot of people are just like, no, you do it for me. Like, you call the gym for me. And I'm like, no, you have a phone. I can give you their phone number. You want this information, you do it. But it's just because they feel so much like entitled over people. That's why I feel like you should always be nice to people, because we're, at the end of the day, we're all trying to make a living. We're all trying to do the same thing that everybody else is doing. Like, we're all trying to meet like the goals that we want to hit. So it doesn't matter if you work at like McDonald's or Carl's Jr. Like, we're all going towards the same goal. We're just taking different paths of doing it. You know?
Yeah. No, yeah, 100%. And like you said, like you buy yourself shoes and like stuff like that. And like again, that's fine. You know, like as long as as long as you're in a position to do it, like you earned your money or whatever, even if it was handed to you, like doesn't matter. But you have the right to do so, as long as, like she said, you don't think that makes you better or worse than somebody else. I remember like in high school, no, sorry, middle school. Again, I grew up not having like fancy clothes or fancy shoes or anything like that, and that's fine, you know. Like I didn't really care much in terms of like how it made me feel. The only reason why I cared is because like I would see other people with like nice shoes and stuff like that. And I already talked about like how I lacked confidence growing up, but it made it even worse when I remember perfectly, some guy had some like Nike shoes. I didn't even think they were that nice, but I told him something about his shoes, and he's like, oh, these shoes cost more than like your whole house and stuff like that. And at the time that like shut me down, and I was like, no way. You know, and it just made me feel like shit. When first of all, obviously, if you're paying like a ridiculous amount for shoes, like I just don't think it's worth it personally. But regardless, like making comments like that, like at the time, like it really affected me. And like, you know, I was like, damn, because it's like, damn, I wish I could buy shoes now. Nowadays, again, I really don't care. I think the most expensive pair of shoes that I have are some Reeboks that are like $70. So nothing crazy. One thing, because obviously, like, I do plan to like grow and like make it bigger and eventually, obviously, like be more well off. One thing that I always told myself is that whatever car I have at the time that I make it, or make it bigger, I guess, is the car I'm gonna keep. Just as a reminder, because like who knows? Like I'm over here saying like, oh, you shouldn't let money affect you. Who knows? Like maybe when I have money, like I start thinking a little bit higher of myself, which I really hope that I won't. But I want to keep the car that I have, just to remind myself like I'm still the same person that I was before. Just something personal that I.
Yeah, and like you can always be like, for example, like when I was like younger, like thrifting was like, oh, you go to the thrift, and now everybody's like, let's go thrifting. Like trends are so crazy because they can just flip from like one day to another. Like the same with Champion. Like Champion, you can get at Walmart for like $15-$20 back then, and now it's like $70 for a sweater because everybody just hyped up Champion. And it's just like you can be like here, and then the next day you can go here, and then you can be here, and then the next day you can come up. Like it doesn't matter what you have. Because as like a society, I guess, if something is like, no, this is cool right now, it doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter. Like, and especially like, I feel like TikTok, like they hype up like the dumbest things ever, but it's just like, you're cool if you have it. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen like the little headband. There's like this little pink headband that has like, to me, I think it's like the ugliest thing ever. It's so ugly, but everybody has it. Like, everybody's so easily influenced because it's just like, this person said that it was cool, and now it's cool. Everybody has it. And it's like $20 on Amazon. And I'm just looking at it. I'm like, this is so ugly.
What's so special about like the headband? Or why do people like it? Or just because?
It's just because. It's just like, oh, like this is so cute on Amazon. And then everybody just started buying it. But like headbands were not like a thing. Like it's not a thing. Yeah. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You can be here and then you can go here. So it really doesn't matter what you have. It's just genuinely like how you present yourself. And like if you get it because you want it, sure. But if you're getting it to make it seem like, oh, look, I have this like $1,000 shirt on, then it's just like nobody cares.
Yeah, exactly. Like for some people, like especially because even now, like I have a hard time defining like what success would look like for me. It's like I want to be successful. Kaylee wants to be successful. Like everyone wants to be successful, but how do you define success? You know what I mean? It's like success can mean a million different things to a lot of different people. It's like maybe you have a dream car, maybe you have a dream house, and success for you is to get that house or that car. Maybe success is for people that live in poverty. Success for them is to get out of poverty. You know what I mean? Like there's so many levels of like success, so it's really hard to define success. To me, again, I'm not doing any of this for money. Like obviously like I want to get to a point where I'm well off because I want to help others, like going back to the original topic. But to like I don't plan to make it wealthy. I don't plan to make it big. I do want to retire like my parents. I want to retire like my mom, my dad, maybe even my brother if I can, but that to me is success, but not to live in like a mansion or like have a fancy car. It's funny because my roommate, who is not here to say it himself, but he always tells me like if he has a mansion and he has like a really nice house, but he has like no family living there with him, then he failed at life. Because he knows too, like that having a mansion is not the equivalent of like success, so success can be defined in many different ways, but it doesn't define money doesn't define like your status.
I would say like happiness, like you can be like super successful, but like if you're not like what your roommate said, like, oh, he can have like a mansion, like, well, he had to be successful, like if he had the money to like get the mansion, but if he's in there by himself, like he's not like happy. It's not happy. So I feel like success and happiness do kind of go like hand in hand, because like you would be happy like retiring your family and stuff, and that means that you're successful. But you can be super successful and then like not retire your family and do all these other things, but it doesn't mean that you're gonna necessarily be like happy at the end of the day. Because I have a cousin and I asked him, he has like a really nice car, and I was like, what would you rather have, like a really nice car or like a really nice house? And he was like, a really nice car. And that like blew my mind. And I was like, you would rather have like a really nice car and a shitty ass house, like a trap house? And he was like, yeah, because then I'd have a nice car. And then I was like, but you don't want to have like a family later on or like anything like that? And he was like, well, yeah. And I was like, but you would still prefer a nice car? And he was like, yes. And I was like, oh, I would prefer like a shitty ass car that can get me from point A to point B and have a nice house so that I can like be happy and like with my family that I want to have later on, you know? But that just blew my mind because it's more like materialistic for him. Like he was like, yeah, because then everybody's going to see me and it's going to be like, oh, like he has such a nice car. But he like pulls up to his trap house, which doesn't it doesn't make sense. Well, that's just me.
It's funny. I was just in East Hollywood, and you see like all types of things. I was shooting something in East Hollywood, and again, I'm not saying this to talk down on anybody, the contrary, but it just doesn't define. Like we were at a house, right, which is like a shared home. The person that was directing the film like lives there with other people, and you have everything from like a really, really beat up truck and a Lamborghini. They pulled up into the same like driveway. And it's like, I don't know what any of their people's stories is, but they live in the same place. You know what I mean? So they have to have some type of, equality when it comes to, their status. But anyways, we're going on a rant. I'm going to make sure that everything is still recording. And we're back. Sorry for the interruption, guys. Kaylee.
So on to a different topic. I haven't seen you in forever, Luis. How are your videos going?
They're going fantastic, actually. So as I kind of touched on earlier, I have a lot of ideas for things that I wanna start working on. I do want to create more like YouTube content, like actual videos. I'm just getting in touch with other people that are gonna help me with these projects. Like editors, like cinematographers and all that stuff. But I have been working on my social media, which I started the series, if you don't already follow me on TikTok, where I try to meet somebody new every day, and that's been going pretty well. I really like the people that I've been able to meet. It doesn't always go as planned, because there are some times where people, I let them know what it is, and I ask them if they're willing to be in the video. And some people are just camera shy, or some people are like, no, I'm sorry, like not today, But actually, even the people that say that, they're never like, no, get away from me. It's more like, no, but that sounds really cool, like good luck, like trying to find somebody else. So that's.
Sorry.
We apologize for the lack of professionalism. But so that's actually been like pretty cool. Do you follow my TikTok, Kaylee?
I do.
What do you think of my videos?
I like your videos. They're funny. I always like your their beginning. You're always like, look at what time it is. It's time to be a new person. No, and I'm so sorry to cut you out. I started cracking up because somebody was like, you don't even have a watch on. I was like, what? It was pretty funny though. But are you planning to start like a different YouTube channel besides this one for like your content, or you're gonna still have this one?
Well, for now, I think I'm gonna just put it in one, because I'm still trying to gain followers here and like trying to gain like more like attention. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna just keep it on here, and I am gonna start posting shorts, like YouTube shorts. But I'm gonna do it all in one, and eventually, once I get to a higher level, which I do plan to get to, then that's when we'll start like having more people. That by then, hopefully, I'll have people like helping me manage all of this, because it's a lot. Even just putting out like fresh content on my, like Instagram, like TikTok, YouTube, whatever. Just because if I post the same thing on all platforms, then why are you gonna follow me on my other ones if you can just see the same thing on one platform? You know what I mean? So just trying to keep everything fresh. I just have a lot of ideas. So the one thing that I just had to like learn is patience, because I mean, you know how I am. You saw it when I was at work. So I'm kind of the same right now, where I'm just like, okay, I want to start working on everything. I have so much to do that I just kind of start on everything and then don't finish anything. You know what I mean? Or like just finish like very, very little, rather than like, let me do this, boom, done, next thing, boom. So I'm still working on like getting organized and just trying to balance everything while still working the days that I can, because I still need to make money at the end of the day, So it's just, that's what I'm working on right now, just trying to find a balance, I guess I would say.
But how do you feel like when you go up to people and they say like, oh no, like does it ever like discourage you for you to be like, oh, like why am I doing this? Or
no, it's actually like like I've talked about this on other podcasts before too, like where you can't really care about like what people say, and like you just have to be confident in your own thing. Like I genuinely believe like it's a really good idea, you know, like just getting to meet people. Like it's very rewarding. Like even after I turn off like the camera and I stop recording, I'm not just like, okay, bye. It's like I genuinely sit there and like I talk to them. There has been times actually where I've talked to people and I didn't mention that I was recording, so we start having a conversation and I end up not recording it because I don't want to be like, oh hey, great conversation, like, and just
Can
whip
we
out
do it
my
again?
phone. Yeah, like
that same thing you just did. Let me just
yeah. So there has been times actually where I've got to know people and I just didn't record it. But no, when people tell me no, like it is what it is. Like because at the end of the day, I don't want to say like, oh, I failed, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, well, I'm not gonna do it anymore. It's like, okay, it is what it is. You know, I actually had to change my approach because at first I would ask people like, I was hoping it's meeting somebody random, so it's not people that I know. So I go up to people, and at first I would be like, hey, I'm sorry to bother you. Like, do you have a minute to help me out with something? And people would be like, well, like what
Like
is it?
what?
Like, what do
Yeah.
you want from me? So you know, I had to. So I kind of failed for a couple of times because of my approach. So I had to like reassess it, and now I just tell them like right off the bat, like, hey, my name is Luis. You know, like I just started a podcast and I just started this thing like on my social media, so that way they kind of know right off the bat like what it is instead of like what the hell does this guy like approaching me for, you know what I mean? So I guess you just like learn from things. That's another thing, like just learn from the mistakes that you make, you know what I mean? Like even if they're like little mistakes, like you look, you just kind of got to sit down and look like, okay, where did it go wrong? Why did it go wrong? And just fix that rather than like, oh, it went wrong. It didn't go as planned. Because honestly, the first time I was like, people are going to be super excited. And again, because of my approach, people were like, kind of like, what are you asking me for? So I was like, okay, let me see where I went wrong. And let me see what I can do to fix that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you were just like, hey, do you have a minute to help me with something over there in the corner in my white van? So I was just like,
yeah. And I was like, hey, do you have a moment to come to my apartment real quick? Like, you know, so
yeah.
so I learned from you just learn, like there's just so many things. Like every episode that I put out, I try to do something different. That's why every single one has been, I guess, a different format. You know, I've had somewhere where you just have like conversations. I've had one where it's like an interview, one where I talk, then I do an interview, one when it's just me by myself. Like every single one has been different because I'm still learning. Like bear with me, guys. If you're wondering, if any of you care enough to wonder why every single one has been different, it's because I'm still learning. You know what I mean? Like I don't really have a right or wrong path. So I'm kind of learning like what works, what can I do differently, you know, what can I implement differently. Just kind of looking back, like I've watched, I think half of the views on my videos are from myself, like because I go back and I watch them just to learn, you know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, this is where I went wrong, or this is what I can do better. And I try to implement that onto my next video, you know, which I think is just something that you can do in any regard. Like if you fail at something, don't necessarily look at it as a failure. Like just look at it as an experience, because anything can be turned into something positive. Like something good comes out of every situation. Even the worst moment you've ever experienced in your life probably brought something good. I can't tell you right off the bat what it is, but I know every single situation can lead to something good.
Something that you can learn from and you can grow from. That's why, sorry, I have to cough.
Let it out.
So sorry. I'm so sorry. No, but yeah, that's why I have like, ever since I was little, like I've had this thing where it's just like, I'm going to go out and do something because I want to do it. And I'm always, even with my friends, like I'm always like, are you going to regret it? No. Okay, let's do it. And I feel like a lot of people should do that too. Like even if you're like, oh, I want to do this, but I feel like I'm going to regret it. If there's like that one little ounce of doubt that you're like, maybe I won't regret it, do it. Do it, because everything, I feel like everything happens for a reason. Like every situation that you're put in, you're put in it for a reason. Like it's either you can grow from it, you can learn from it. Just like how he said, like he learned and he changed his approach. Like instead of just going up to people and be like, can you help me with something? And do you feel like because you changed your approach, you've gotten more people to actually help you out? Like more people willing to be like, oh yeah, like let me help this guy out?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, like she, just to piggyback on like what she was saying, like I used to be that way too. Like I used to be that way where like I just wouldn't do it. But now the more you do things, like the more you learn. So you really do like try to turn your failures into like success, you know, even if you have to like scratch the whole thing. Like there's one podcast episode, not even gonna lie, there's a podcast episode that I recorded. I was almost done editing it, and I looked back and I was like, no, I don't like it. Like, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's the best that I can do. So I have that put away, and I don't think I'm going to put it out just because I didn't think it was good enough. And I'm not like, damn, like I wasted my time, because I did. I mean, I spent so much time like recording, editing and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm learning from it. You see what I mean? Like you learn from it, and like just everything that you can, like just everything that you fail, like try to turn it into a success. Like that can also be another motivation, you know, like if you get cut from a team, if you get cut from, I don't know, whatever it is that you're trying to do, or if you don't get a job, you know, that could be motivation of like, let me go at it again, you know, like if you get cut from basketball team, if you play basketball, you know, and it's like, okay, well, let me train harder, let me learn why I didn't make it. If I didn't, when I go on auditions, or the actors that go on auditions, like I didn't get it, it's not like, oh, well, tough luck, or like, oh, it is what it is, their loss. It's like, no, why didn't I get it? What can I work on? What can I do better? You know what I mean? So just turning your your failures into success. You know what I mean?
It's super easy to stay stuck somewhere, and especially even if you don't fail, but you just genuinely get like comfortable, you stay stuck because you don't want to push towards more. You're just like, okay, this is fine, I'm fine here. But in reality, you can be like all the way up here, but since you feel like, oh, like you don't want to work for anything else, like let's say you make that basketball team, right? And you're just like, okay, cool, I made it, I'm not gonna practice as hard anymore, like I already made the team. If you're not practicing as hard as everybody else, they're gonna get kicked off the team. So it's more of like always trying to work on yourself. Like don't be comfortable, because then you're gonna stay stuck. And once you're stuck, like it's so hard. Like when I used to go to the gym really, really, really consistently, and then I stopped going just because I got lazy. And then now I'm going back, but it's so much harder for me to go to the gym. Like it's so much easier for me now to be like, I don't want to go, than for me to be like, yes, I need to go. Like thankfully I have a gym partner. And that's the only reason why I'm going. Because if she's always like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Because if she wasn't like that, I would not wake up in the morning. I would not. Because I have to wake up in the morning, and then I have to go to school, and then I have to go to work. And then I go to sleep really late, and then I have to do it all over again. Which is like really hard to find that balance and to not stay comfortable. Because, well, my job now, like at the gym, I'm comfortable there, but that's not my end goal. I don't want to be like 30, 35 and still working there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I've talked about how I felt like I spent enough time there. I spent years at that company, which is why I'm now venturing out. So I completely understand, you know, not wanting to get stuck somewhere. If you do struggle like finding balance, you know, try different things out. Like I can sit here, she can sit here, we could tell you guys what we think, or you can listen to whoever you want to speak, but at the end of the day, only you know what works for you. Like what works for me, what works for her, or what works for anybody doesn't necessarily mean that's the right way, or it might not work for you. You know what I mean? Like I always tell people, like, here's my opinion. The best way to learn is by trial and error. Like when I used to go to the gym, like for the first like year almost, when I used to go, like I wasted my time because I did not know what I was doing, but I was trying out different things. So I would say I wasted my time in the sense that like I literally got no different in terms of like how I looked for like a whole year, but I learned this doesn't work, this does. So then from there I was able to carry that on to, you know, get to where I wanted to be. You know what I mean? And like she said, she has somebody that helps her, you know, go to the gym, like stay motivated, and like that's fine if what it takes is to find somebody that has the same drive as you, or somebody that helps you like complement that drive, then that's fine too. You know, not everything has to be done by yourself. Like it's okay to lend a hand, which, going full circle, ties into the very first point that we said, you know, like always be willing to help others, because one day you might be the one that needs that hand, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very, very good visual demonstration here. But yeah, sorry, I don't know if I cut you off and what you were saying.
It's okay, I'm used to it. But no, you didn't cut me off.
Okay, then get unused to it, because see, I don't do it anymore.
No, but yeah, I feel like, well, especially for me too, like balance is like a really, really big thing, especially if you're trying to do so many things at once. Like if you're just like, oh, I really want to get my life together this time, like let me go to the gym, because I really, really want to be like those girls that wake up really early in the morning, you know, like they eat breakfast, they read a couple books, you know, read a couple pages of their books, and go to the gym, then come home and then eat some more, and then like change, because they have so much time, but it's because they know how to balance out their time. I can't do that. I like wake up and I'm just like, oh man, I have like a minute to get ready. I'm like brushing my teeth, filling up my water at the same time, and then I go to the gym and then I get home, and I feel like I'm always like running. You know, I feel like I'm always doing something in a rush, because then I get home and then I change, and then I go to school, and then from school I go straight to work, and then from work I get home, but I get home like at midnight, like 1 a.m, and I have to wake up again at 5. And then on top of that, if you have a relationship, like if you have to find time to make sure that the person that you're with still feels, you know, like a priority, once you have like all these other things like stacked on top of you. So then if you have that, you know, like a lot of older people, yeah, I wouldn't say older people, a lot of people do have kids, so it's like, I don't know, you have to try to find balance to help you, because I remember feeling really, 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 really bad, because, you know, like I wanted to hang out with my boyfriend, but I also wanted to hang out with my friends. And like, sure, I could have brought my boyfriend along, but I hadn't hung out with my friends, because everybody knows if you're in a relationship, it's different, like to hang out with your friends when you're with your partner, and to hang out with them when you're not with your partner. You know, I haven't had a chance to catch up with my friends in such a long time, and I was like this. And I ended up going with my friends, and I cried. I was like crying to my mom, and then I was like, Mom, I feel so bad. Like, I feel like, you know, like they don't deserve this. Like, if I don't deserve this, if like, I deserve nothing. And so then I ended up going with my friends, and I don't regret going with them, because I had such a great time, and I hadn't like laughed like that in such a while. But then like in my heart, I still felt so bad, because I know that my boyfriend misses me too. So it's really hard to find that balance, but you shouldn't feel bad for wanting balance, for putting yourself first too. So it's, you know, you got to find what works for you the best.
Exactly. And there, like I said, there's no formula for it. You know, there's no right way to do it. It's just hard, you know, like she said, especially, I don't want to get too deep into relationships, because, you know, that's a whole different topic that we'll save for another episode. Stay tuned. But yeah, it's just, a lot of it does have to do like with sacrifice, you know, like I used to go to the gym 6 days a week, and it's like, yeah, I only go for an hour, but even finding time for that hour was a lot. So I gave up an extra day. 5 days, I mean, it's still a lot, but that one day just makes a difference, because now that one day I can implement it if I want to do something else. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, a lot of times it is sacrifice. Like, I'm not one to go out and party anyways, you know, but sometimes you might have to do that, you know, if you have something that you want to do on the weekends, or if you want to go out, you might have to, you know, maybe sacrifice once or twice, you know, just to find that balance. But again, just try it out. Like, it's a trial and error type of thing. Trust me, I'm still trying to figure it out. Today we're shooting this in the morning, so I'm recording this. I'm gonna take Kaylee home. Then I have a Zoom audition at 3:30. Then I'm gonna try to find time to hang out with my girlfriend. Then I have a game at 9 p.m. You know what I mean? So I'm still learning. It's a trial and error. So have those trials, have those errors. You know what I mean? That's the only way that you are gonna learn.
Mm-hmm. And like, just like going back to what he said, it's okay to fail. Like, it's okay to do things and be like, this doesn't work for me. But that doesn't mean that you should just stop doing what you're doing. Try to find something else, because you're doing it for a reason. Like, there's always an end goal, and that end goal is always going to work for you. But you just have to work for it. You just have to push through it. And even if you fail, like, it's okay. It's okay to put yourself first sometimes. Like, it's okay to miss a week of the gym. Like, if your body needs it, like, just take it. It's fine, as long as you don't stay comfortable, as long as you don't give up, as long as you're still working for the things that you want to do, then everything is going to be fine.
Listen to people, but at the end of the day, you know what works. You'll know.
Just do it. You know, like how Nike says, just don't give up, and everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, just learn from your mistakes. It's good to make mistakes. It's part of the process. Whatever your process is, make mistakes, fail. Trust me, fail. Just don't be afraid to go for it. All right? Thank you, guys.
Should we high-five again?
That's a lot of pressure. Ready?
No, wrong hand.
Oh, this one? No, we did this one.
No, yeah. Okay, ready?
Yeah.